live video, but I know people watch these later. So today we're going to talk about everything about happiness, depression, maybe how to overcome it. I will not give you any medical advice or make any medical claims. And I'm just giving you my opinions, guys. Everything I'm saying is the opinion of the speaker. I'm not making claims for or against any products, blah, blah, blah. But you know, this seems like a big topic. And right now what I'm doing is I'm purifying my water to the highest degree. No water filter will purify it this way. This is actually what's called a carbon distiller. And what does that have to do with happiness? Well, in my opinion, it has a lot to do with happiness, actually. And I think the very first thing, wow, thank you, somebody already jumped in. And when you're talking about depression, happiness, it's probably better when a few people enter the room and I can share some information with them and you guys can ask questions. But give me 1 second. I'm gonna do the water here. And every time I walk away from the phone, I don't have a microphone because it's not working, so I'll have to pause for a second because I am going to be moving around. Now, what would water have anything to do with depression? Well, in my opinion, it could have a lot to do with depression. Why? Well, I've seen a lot of lab reports of what's in our water and how that can be potentially affecting us in our emotional state. And so when it comes to things like sadness and depression, it's important to understand what potentially is causing it. Here, hold on 1 second. I'm just finishing up, filling up the carbon distiller so I can get it started right away. Remember, this is a live video, so this is just what I do, you know, every single morning. Clean my water throughout the day because of how it can potentially affect our health and our body. So I think it really matters what's ultimately causing the depression in the first place. It can be chemical, hormonal, it could be situational. So there's not like a clear-cut answer, you know, quote unquote, for everybody. But in my opinion, there are things you can do to help you regardless of whatever situation you're in, which is important. All right, so I started that up and now we'll move on to the next one. So first, your body, in my opinion, does play a role. You want your body running on all cylinders. Haven't you ever noticed that kids also tend to be happier? Wow, got a full compost here. So let's get our body right today. I'm gonna make my breakfast. Hold on a second. Always. You always want to overcome any nutritional deficiency you might have. Well, that's not gonna work, is it? All right, hold on. And if you guys have questions too, I feel like that would be a little more helpful. But if you're dealing with depression, let's just say, again, you'd have to know what's actually causing it. But I think that having your body, this has been my experience, having your body running on all cylinders is you want your body, you know, in a good place, regardless of what you're going through. First thing I start out with is the Power Shake. This is from a website called I Shop Purium, for those who want to know where I get it. And if you want to support the channel and you want a discount code, the code is Uprising144K. I use this as a multivitamin. So if you're dealing with sadness and depression and you want your body running on all cylinders, there is science that is very clear that basically shows that our body doesn't do so good unless we overcome any nutritional deficiency. As silly as that may sound, that's the first thing. It's always the first thing. Overcome any nutritional deficiency. This is organic turmeric or turmeric, anti-inflammatory. You know, when it comes to, you know, if you were to look at the statistics on, first of all, how many people on antidepressants, in my opinion, and I've used them in the past, they did nothing for me personally. And if you look at the actual science of it all, the numbers aren't very good as far as supposedly how much they really do work. And so I'm not really particularly impressed. In fact, if they worked, I don't think we'd have any sadness or depression almost at all in the world, and we have a lot of it. Now, again, that's just my opinion. I'm not telling people not to do whatever it is that they, whatever they feel is helping them, but I'm just saying that it's important to get your body right. Imagine, I hope people realize, sorry, I'm having to put the charger on my phone. It's a little low on battery there. I don't know if people realize how important this is actually apricot seed meal. So I'm actually going to put this straight in the smoothie because of the B17 content. And you just want your body to get everything that it needs. And I know a lot of people may think, well, that doesn't help. And it really kind of does, but it does take a little patience. Because most people when they're depressed don't want to eat very good. And I do understand that. It doesn't mean that you don't get to eat other stuff. It's just you got to get these nutrients in you, And it's a lot easier. Each person's situation is going to be a little different. And I know with the way that the world's going, it's pretty crazy. And I also know that a lot of people think that happiness is, getting a lot of things that they want. But a lot of times it doesn't last. Maybe you get a new car. Maybe you get a new apartment or house. Who knows? And there are things that can make us happy temporarily. Of course, I like things that last longer. This was flax seeds. Flax seeds are anti-cancerous. Now we're going to put some raw cacao. It was interesting that there was a study that showed that for depression, that walking, a pretty decent rigorous walk for 20 to 30 minutes actually works better than just about any antidepressant on the market. And they are showing also that all our happy chemicals, a lot of them are actually, our gut is what's responsible for them. And if that's the case, you want stuff that's really good for the microbiome in the gut. And all this stuff that I'm putting in, this is literally what feeds it, plus the hydrogen water that I already drank. I didn't show you guys that. Let me grab some greens, because that's what's going in next. But I think that it's really good idea to take care of the gut and feed your gut good gut bacteria. There's a lot of amazing info on that. So what are we going to feed it? Well, today, let me grab things that I am going to be putting in my microbiome today. Maybe I'll use this instead today. This is mostly a time to also hang out with a lot of the viewers who have questions. It's easier for me to answer the questions while I'm making my smoothie live, and I think it's easier for the people asking the questions. But yes, your microbiome and little exercise, you'd be surprised how much that makes of a difference when it comes to overcoming depression. If it's situational, then that's obviously very different. Situational, you probably want to talk to somebody who can give you support, things of that nature. But if your body's out of whack and you're not taking good care of it, and maybe you're overweight and having pains where you shouldn't have them, and all this type of stuff, sleep disruption, then obviously that's going to be different. That's why I say it's just very important to understand what's ultimately causing the issues. In my opinion, like if I really, really wanted to go at it, obviously I treat my body really, really good so that my brain and my body is running on all cylinders. And then I would get proper sleep, good exercise, get a good routine. There's some really good data, actually. I don't hear too many people talking about it. That routine and rhythm. I would also be very cautious about basically a lot of chemicals and how they disrupt us. The big one for me is just water. One of the biggest things they found in our water, so there's 3 major pharmaceuticals that they found at the highest levels. I'm not saying there are other ones. Of course, I'm not making any claims, so I'm not saying these are in the water. I'm saying it based on some data that I was reading. And the highest levels were of women's contraception. So that right there is going to affect anybody hormonally. What else? Antidepressants were found high in the water, which is ironic. And what else? Antibiotics, which really disrupts your gut flora. And those are the 3 pharmaceuticals that were found high. This is the reason that I actually clean my water, because I don't want women contraception in my body. That disrupts, you know, hormonal issues. And not to mention all the other chemicals in the body that can affect the gut, by the way, but antibiotics, I mean, that's really going to disrupt the gut. And when we've now found out that the gut is responsible so much for producing specific chemicals in our brain that have to do with, you know, happiness, like the serotonin, for example, then, you know, and on top of it, water being apparently the #1 source, I was going to do a video on this, it appears to be the #1 source of microplastics. Now, that's a big problem, because microplastics also appear to disrupt us hormonally. And in my opinion, hormonal dysregulation or imbalance is a huge part of what affects us emotionally. You don't want your hormones out of whack. So, obviously the question begins to be, okay, how do I overcome these hormone imbalances? Me personally, I've had a lot of success with that, actually. And again, you have to stop doing the things that are causing the imbalance, not just try to fix it. Oh, and thanks for the thumbs up, guys. I just saw you guys gave a few there. And so I'm showing you, I'm just washing the produce right now, but I'm going to be making this smoothie, which is part of my protocol. And the reason that I feel, you know, relatively confident with my protocol is because of all the blood work that I've done throughout the years. And the science that is, I mean, there's just so much data on the gut microbiome and nutritional deficiencies. And this is what I came up with to be able to get all the nutrients. But it's way more than that. It's a little complex, but not really. We're talking all the nutrients, so vitamins, but also minerals, and proper hydration, anti-inflammatory, and lots of fiber so that you can actually absorb nutrients properly. Of course, I do a lot of the hydrogen, which you guys didn't get to see on camera, but I'll be doing it here in a little bit after I'm done with the smoothie, so I'll show you how I do that, which allows this magical gas, the hydrogen, goes straight to the brain. So if you're talking about depression, in fact, now that I remember, I think there's some research about it. Now I'm gonna have to go back and look. There appears to be some research on hydrogen and depression, and in my opinion, I feel very confident saying that I would be willing to bet that just doing a smoothie like this and the hydrogen, and if you were to compare it to, I would say, any antidepressant in the market, it would work better. And of course, if you could add a little walk, you know, a walk would be really, really great. And I know, you know, sunshine's important. In fact, we're going to be adding, I mean, they always talk about vitamin D, which we will be adding to this today. And that is, the data on vitamin D is astronomically important. It does a lot more than just quote unquote make you happy. And see, this is exactly what I mean about having the proper nutrients in your body in order to be able to feel more happiness and joy. Blood flow has a lot to do with it. The biggest thing though, and hydrogen is amazing for blood flow. If you haven't seen my video number 68, I've had doctors question that video and tried to prove it wrong, only to prove it right. Hydrogen really appears to move your blood. And when you're moving the blood, kind of like exercise moves the blood. When you're moving the blood, you really, really want the blood to be carrying nutrients, because that's the whole thing. It's moving throughout the body. You want it carrying nutrients. to wherever it may be going. And then when you open up ghost vessels, if you don't know what that is, I guess you could either Google it, but it's these specific type of blood vessels in the body that don't get blood supply anymore, which is really important to. Here's some almonds. Hydrogen has actually been shown to open up ghost vessels, which is apparently like a really big deal. The Japanese university that discovered that was just, mind was absolutely blown. And now I'm putting some walnuts. A lot of this stuff, again, is anti-cancerous, anti-inflammatory, but also has specific nutrients and minerals, fats, good stuff. All right. So those are things that have really helped me a great deal. Let's put some hydrogen water in here. Hold on a second. By the way, if you guys have questions, this is a good time to ask them. If you don't have questions, well, that's fine too. But I would think most people have some. Makes it easier. All right. So the reason I like to put the hydrogen water in the smoothie, well, for one, I have a lot of it. Chia seeds is a really cheap way to get omegas, so protein, minerals, really unique nutrients. And I just soak them in hydrogen water. If you don't have hydrogen water, just soak them in clean water. And when I say clean, I mean like really clean. I really think that the water these days is causing a lot of depression. As crazy as that sounds, though I think it's a lot of other things too. But I think the water is involved. Not so much the water as much as what's in the water. It's just so crazy. Okay. Let's keep moving forward. So you'd be surprised how a meal can help the body feel happier. You really would, because the body really has a lot going on. And if it's running on cylinder, on all cylinders, you wake up, you feel good. If you're healthy, you look in the mirror, you feel happier and better about yourself. That kind of thing. There is such a thing as temporary happiness. Though I don't like temporary happiness as much. I mean, that's cool and all, and I understand it. And it's not like I don't like it, but feeling happy, like a steady happiness, I like that. Okay, putting a banana in there. I'll tell you, the things that this smoothie has done is just so mind-boggling. And you mix that, like I said, with hydrogen water. If you just did that, I knew a few people who just did that. And now one of the ingredients that I'm putting here, apparently there's the properties. There's so many amazing things that it does, and that's ginger. It's hard to find ginger that's organic and cost-effective. I got lucky. I finally did, because otherwise it's just too expensive. All right, let's see. Jaw227 says, can help the body. Is this found your channel? Looking forward to digging into your knowledge. Can help the body. Yeah, I'm actually surprised, considering all the data out there, all the medical professionals, all the science, how people don't talk about this more. It's starting to come out more. I've been talking about it for many years. But like I said, the first thing is, well, proper hydration. See, it comes down to water. It always starts with water. Water seems to be the #1 source of microplastics that enter our body. That right there is already a major problem. If I showed you the lab report, which I have it, I could show it to you, but I've shown it many times. Pages, not just a few things, pages of very nasty stuff in our water. And normal water filters do not take everything out. In fact, they don't even get close. The only thing that really does a good job is carbon distillation. The other thing, now of course, if you want one of those machines like the one I have, I showed it a little while ago. It's from a website called mypurewater.com. And if you want a discount code on it too, and I guess if you want to support the channel, the code is uprising144K. But those carbon distillers will remove basically just about everything that's in the water that can be disrupting us hormonally, emotionally, physically, so many things. So it starts with that. Now, that's just clean water. If you want to really, quote unquote, supercharge it, make it what I would call magical water, then you add the hydrogen. I mean, that's where, things really begin to take another big turn. And if you guys want to know what I use a machine from a website called holyhydrogen.com, and that's just because it's the best machine in the world, and a lot of other machines, in my personal opinion, can cause more problems than they solve. That you got to make hydrogen clean, just like water filters. You need a good one. Jaw says, just found your channel. Talk to text is terrible. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I'm glad that you found the channel. You are welcome to ask any questions. But like I was saying, overcoming a lot of the health issues that we end up having in life. I mean, I'm not saying all health issues or anything, but you'd be surprised because almost every single American, and this is all data, I'm not making this stuff up, you can look it up yourself. Almost every single American is deficient in something. And we know, this is why it's weird when you go to the doctor and they don't really talk about it a lot. We know the deficiencies basically lead to disease. I mean, any deficiency, like for example, think of like a car. If the car doesn't have enough oil in the engine, like let's say it's deficient in oil, well, the car probably won't be running as good. It won't have as much power. Maybe it's not getting the fuel economy it should be getting. Plus it's damaging things, for the long haul, the long term. You want to make sure that you're getting everything. Now, if it was as easy as taking a pill, that would be great. And if that's all you can do, then I would say, okay, that's all you can do. Josh says, how do you feel about Berkey water filter? Okay. So again, I'm not making any claims for or against any product or products. You can research it. I believe Berkey is actually going through a lawsuit right now because somebody did some testing on their water and the filter, it's just okay. My opinion on Berkey water, do I use it? I have one. I used to use it until I learned more about it. It just doesn't remove everything. And it's just not good enough. Now, one of the biggest things about water filters in general, or water in general, it appears that water has parasites, bacteria, obviously pesticides, maybe even viruses, things of this nature, okay? No water filter removes that kind of stuff, which is not a good thing. Now, carbon distillation, which is what I'm using, does appear to remove all that stuff. And you want to get all those parasites and worms and bacterias and viruses, and you want to get all that stuff out of your water. So the Berkey, for me, is more like an emergency backup. If that's all I have access to, then that's what I do. But it's not the best, not even close to being the best, in my opinion. And yeah, not a huge fan of the Berkeys, unfortunately. Okay, I'm gonna skip natto today. Now we're gonna go with celery. Let's see. Tom says, you are Superman to drink all that pulp. I filter out the pulp after the Vitamix, then eat several big spoonfuls along with the juice. I consume between a third to a half of the pulp. Yeah, that's good. I don't know if I'm Superman, but I've come to like it. I mean, it tastes great to me. I'll tell you one thing, it's so good for moving the bowels. Should probably be making a video on how to overcome almost any gut issue and constipation, because I have had so much success both with myself and other people. I worked with multiple people actually. I could tell you numerous stories, but this one was the most dramatic. I mean, from people who had Crohn's disease, celiac disease, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, all this type of stuff. Great success. And I'm actually shocked sometimes because one of the stories that I was going to share with you was a woman who had issues since she was very young, and doctors just couldn't fix her. And then at one point they were even suggesting surgery. And all her life she's lived like this. She said she would literally go like a week or more without having a bowel movement, and it just never had good experiences in regards to that. And then she met me and I told her about clean up the water, of course, the hydrogen. Hydrogen makes a really big difference too. with the proper hydration. In my opinion, it appears that hydrogen actually moves your peristaltic muscle, so it really can help with constipation. I've seen a lot of that. And then she started doing the smoothies on top of it. And this is what's crazy, guys. All her life, all doctors basically kind of gave up on her and said she couldn't fix this issue. And what happened? Her issue's gone. It was unbelievable. She's totally normal. Goes to the bathroom more than once a day. I mean, a healthy amount is somewhere like 2 to 3 times a day, guys, if that lets you know what normal is. Some people are like, what? No way, that's not possible, you know. And this protocol that I created, yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, I've been doing it for years. And so, you know, this person, what really solved her issues was clean hydrogen water and these smoothies, and then of course a good diet. She started eating more of the type of stuff that I eat, and that was it. It was that simple. She didn't need the doctor. She spent so much money. You know how many people, like there was a woman, a different one, she had celiac disease and a lot of issues with her GI. Throughout the years she had spent, as crazy as this sounds, doctors and supplements and all this stuff. She had spent like $100,000, but that was throughout many years. She had had this issue for like 3 decades or so. Really long time. So many doctors, so many pills, so many trying different stuff. Nothing would fix it. And she only changed her diet a little bit when she met me. This was a different lady. But she did do the hydrogen protocol. So she did the clean hydrogen water. And I remember when she called me back about it, she goes, absolutely changed my life. She goes, I'm totally normal. Everything's great. She was super happy. So a lot of GI issues, and people are having a lot of them because, in my opinion, it's what's in our food. And one thing that they don't tell you, here's a little secret that only 8 people in the room are going to hear, is that they don't tell you about how all these different chemicals interact with each other. There's literally no research, and I'm pretty sure the research wouldn't be that good. Jaw says, tell me again, slower the website and discount code for the filter you use. So the water filter is basically what's called a carbon distiller, and you'll find it at a website called mypurewater.com. And if you wanted the discount code is uprising144K, which is the same name as the YouTube channel. And again, the website's mypurewater.com. In fact, you can watch video 388. My video 388, I show the lab reports and I show what's in the water. There's a lot of pages. I show you what carbon filters, like your average water filter, like a Berkey, what they do, what they can't do, you know, stuff like that. It's a good video. Video 388 is a good one. But yeah, mypurewater.com if you're in the US. If you're not in the US, then, you know, I don't know if I would order it just because it's really expensive, you know, shipping internationally and probably all sorts of customs fees and all sorts of crazy stuff. So I don't know about that. Then you probably want to find something locally. But yeah, mypurewater.com is they're American made, higher quality. You can find some cheaper ones by a few $100 if they're Chinese, but everything that I do is I'm trying to find the best, especially the best for the money, you know, or just the best in general. And I only share what I actually use. So I don't really promote anything that I don't personally use. And believe me, I will not use something unless it's good because my body's too important to me. It's not worth the money. I've actually turned down a lot of companies and a lot of money just because there's no way I'm going to promote something that's garbage. I won't do it. Okay. Well, we're almost done here. Do you think this thing will actually blend? Or do you think we're going to get this machine all stuck? I got to go grocery shopping today. We're almost out of all this stuff, right? All right, banana. The bananas are going bad. Normally I only put 1, but I'm putting 2 today because it does taste better. And when they're starting to go bad, and John says, thank you, you're welcome. All right, guys, you think it will blend? Let's put a little more hydrogen water in there. Oh, I should tell you why I did that. So, hydrogen, it was pretty wild. Here, hold on a second. I I did not expect this. You know, they can actually test the antioxidative power of food. Food that is grown non-organically is actually not very powerful. Organic food was shown to actually have quite a bit higher levels of antioxidants in the food and higher nutrients. It just looked better in every way, the organic food, which was kind of interesting find. That's why you do some scientific studies. Then, if you soak it in hydrogen water, here's what's crazy. If you soak food in hydrogen water, they tested in Japan before they soaked it and then after they soaked it. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. It was so hard to believe. The antioxidative power of the food went up a lot. I mean, not a little. It was dramatic. You know, so I have a lot of hydrogen water, so I'm like, hey, why not? Okay, I'm going to show you the magic ingredients, especially the magic ingredients to overcome depression, sadness, if it's something, you know, chemical. And let's leave that for a second. Let me go grab those ingredients. Here's one of them right here. Hold on. The other one. Where did you go? There it is. It's all about the nutrients and getting the chemicals out of the body. That's how simple it is. All right, let's see if it'll blend. Do you guys think it'll blend? You guys, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there. I think most blenders would actually break. Okay, let's see. It's okay. Wow, it doesn't seem to be blending that. I mean, it's okay, but it's not doing the job. Let's see what's going on here. Sometimes what I do too, if it doesn't blend, I'll get a towel like this and I'll just hit it a few times. Now let's see if this works. I'll let it stop, let things settle to the bottom. Otherwise, there'll be all these chunks in it. And we're almost done. I'm going to show you 3 magic ingredients that are super good for the brain, depression, and even Alzheimer's and dementia. There's a Jaw asked how many were my videos on how to make hydrogen water. I got a lot of them. I'll show you here. I'll just show you in a second. It's really easy if with the proper equipment. So hold on a second. Feel there's chunks in there. Give me 1 second, guys. It's almost done though, but I got to get those chunks out, otherwise it's not very smooth. Hence the name smoothie. All right, let's try this and see if it's good. Okay. So what we do here, I keep all the fiber, everything I can get in this thing. This is my multivitamin from a food source. However, it's almost impossible to get the proper levels of vitamin D from your food. And the food that does have vitamin D just doesn't have enough. And this is important to me. Vitamin D3 with K2 in its ionic form. So, hey, Shmila looks like she's in here. All right, I'm gonna put some of it in the smoothie. I put it in the smoothie because, man, the absorption. People are always talking about how to absorb nutrients. In fact, I had a doctor doing my blood work asking me, how in the world are you absorbing your nutrients like this? Because they just can't figure it out. I'll tell you the secret. Secret is hydrogen water that's clean with fiber. That's it, guys. Now I'm going to put hemp hearts. Why hemp hearts? Most well-balanced protein in the world of omega-3s and 6s. Just really good proteins and fats. And so many minerals and nutrients. It's almost like a multivitamin in of itself. And guess what? It tastes good. And it's food. The body responds to food the best. Now, I will warn you, it is possible that you could test positive on a potential drug test. And I eat those all the time, so I probably would test positive. All right, let me drink this and move the camera here. So let's go over here where I'm going to show you the last ingredient. I'm about to have hydrogen inhalation. For Joe, who's asking how to make the hydrogen water, I got lots of videos about how to make it. This is a device I use because it's the best. There's be cautious with hydrogen because in my opinion, there are just a lot of scams out there in regards to hydrogen, and nobody's talking about the dangers of making it cheap and wrong with cheap metals and cheap membranes that have really horrible, like I saw some bad chemicals in some membranes on some lab tests, and plated metals, just cheap stuff from China. Anything from China, I'm not real fond of. Nothing good at this time as far as hydrogen's concerned. They make other stuff that's good, but not hydrogen. Okay, hold on 1 second. And so this is a good time for anybody to ask any questions that they want. And this is my other secret. Inhale the hydrogen while I'm eating. Why? I think it actually helps with the absorption of nutrients. My opinion, though my blood work seems to be validating that. And also the way that it helps donate electrons while we're eating. Okay, let's try this out. Oh, you know what? I got a tip for somebody was saying something earlier. Tom, was it Tom? Let me see. Yeah, Tom. Oh yeah, Tom says, I have been using the vacuum lid on the Vitamix. Oh, there you go, after seeing you use it. I love this contraption. I know, I love it too, it's so awesome. If you want to check that out, that's at void-system.com. Again, the discount code is uprising144K, but it keeps the food more fresh. And I actually must have done something to mine that broke it, but it's under warranty, so they're warranting it and they're gonna ship it back to me soon. Tastes a lot better when you vacuum blend it. Fresher, more nutrients, less oxidation. And yeah, I love the vacuum blender too. What I'm wondering, Tom, is if you're not putting enough water. That's why I can drink all this fiber. You were saying it's like I'm superhuman or something. A lot more water. If it gets too thick, just add more water. Okay. All right, guys. Well, if you have any other questions, let's see. Let's pull up real quick. I'm going to show you. I was pulling up data here while we're hanging out. Let's see if anybody has actually done a scientific study on smoothies for depression. Let's see if anybody's ever done that. Okay. The antidepressant smoothie. I'm telling you. It's good. So they're talking about getting enough omega-3 fatty acids, which comes from walnuts, which I put in there, chia seeds, which I put in there, flax seeds, which I put in there. And of course, they didn't mention the hemp hearts, but I did. And it says that the research shows omega-3 fatty acids are directly linked to improving your mood and cognitive function. Remember I told you this is also appears to be good for, what is it? Like dementia, Alzheimer's and stuff like that. Nutrient intake. Well, I was talking about that too, because overall physical and mental health is associated with proper nutrients. So that's, again, sharing that with you guys. Okay. Yes, we do know, by the way, that all this fiber helps with regulating protein, healthy fats, and stabilizing blood sugar levels, which prevents energy crashes and mood swings. So again, helping regulate your mood. Okay. Gut-brain connection. Wow, everything I've been telling you guys, this is great. So new research actually is suggesting that there is a link between gut health and mental health. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. And by the way, if you see the science and the data on hydrogen for the gut health, it's unbelievable. That's why I combine that and get all the garbage out of the water. That's why the water has to be clean. And then a smoothie, it's like, it's that easy. That's why I don't understand. It's not complicated. You don't need a million supplements. A smoothie with probiotic-rich ingredients. These are really, there's a lot of good probiotics, enzymes, stuff that feeds the good gut bacteria, and then the hydrogen. I mean, it's just unbelievable, that combination. Here's another one. Josh says, or JSW says, just the word smoothie makes me happy. That's funny. So the next one is hydration. This is why I talk, by the way, hydrogen water hydrates you better also. So hydration, when you're not properly hydrated, you feel fatigued, irritable, can worsen depressive symptoms. So hydrating, and a smoothie, by the way, also hydrates you. So this actually hydrates. It's funny that it's literally saying hydration and then a smoothie, which is literally what I'm showing you guys. This is literally the protocol I created a long time ago. So proper hydration, really important. Okay, so other one is, so we know the nutrients are important. We've gone over all that. But other ingredients that appear or are literally known to boost your mood and have nutritional benefits. One of these is blueberries. What did I put in there? Blueberries. Guys, have you seen a pattern yet? And they're rich in vitamin C. But berries, I mean, blueberries are also really good for your vascular system, really good for heart health, really anti-cancerous. I mean, on and on it goes. Blueberries are really good for you. Then it literally says banana has mood regulating ingredients like B6, potassium, all that stuff. This is crazy. This, like, they're literally naming off my smoothie. Now it says spinach and kale, which that's obviously the greens. If you saw the rich leafy greens I put in, because they're high in folate, which is associated with improved mood and reduced risk of depression. Look at that. All right, cool. Then it mentions flax seeds and chia seeds, which we already went over. They didn't mention, I like to soak them, especially if you soak them in hydrogen water. I mean, this is just ways of enhancing them. Now, I don't like this suggestion that they're saying. Now they're saying put 1 teaspoon of honey. I would not add honey to my smoothie. It's good enough. I use honey in other ways though. So I do like honey though. In fact, I'm a big honey, I'm a big pro honey. Make sure that it's not pasteurized. Make sure it's raw, organic, clean. I don't even buy from the store anymore because I met beekeepers that were telling me that the honey from the store is not really 100% like it claims to be, which I had a hard time believing, but then they showed me what honey is supposed to look like and how the store honey isn't like that. And so then an article came out, I don't know if you guys saw it in the news recently, that they've been caught putting stuff in the honey that is high corn fructose corn syrup and claiming that it's 100%. So I don't trust it. Find a beekeeper near you. Somebody says cinnamon. Yeah, I put cinnamon in here sometimes, but not as often. Let's see, I could look it up, but let's finish this first. Okay, then it says you can add water to reach desired consistency. So I was just telling you that a second ago, and that's what I do. And then it says put everything in the blender, obviously, and use, run the blender, and it all churns really, really great, and then you can drink it. Okay, so hopefully that helps you guys out. Let's see what there is about cinnamon, and then I'll let you guys go. Cinnamon there's a lot of good properties to cinnamon. Let's see. There might be benefits for cinnamon and its metabolite sodium benzoate have been shown to increase the levels of neurotrophic factors such as BDNF, which may be a benefit for treatment for depression. Well, look at that. Thanks for sharing. I used to put it in there quite often. It says, although cinnamon is a safe drug, a report of intraoral allergy to cinnamon. Well, if you're allergic to cinnamon, okay. Well, interesting. Thanks for sharing on that. All right, guys, if you have any other questions, let me know now. Otherwise, I can let you go. Let's see real quick, because I had let's see, one more thing. Let's see if I can find. Hold on a second. Oh, I think I might have found something here for you guys real quick, but hold on a second. Well, it appears that hydrogen might even be good for depression. It literally says that because of results that were demonstrated by hydrogen-rich water, and because of its effects on, oxidative stress, neuroinflammation, in turn preventing the development and progression of depressive-like behavior following chronic stress exposure. So that's kind of interesting too. All right, guys, well, I'm gonna let you go unless you had any other last questions. And I'm gonna continue with my morning here. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. And if you don't find the information you need, JSW227 on the videos, you can email me if you want. You seem like you had some questions about the hydrogen water. You should be able to find, I got a ton of videos, but if not, my email's uprising144k@gmail.com. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on the next.